Well, I've heard the message. We need to be in control. So I'm going to change my algorithm a little bit.
Okay? Go ahead.
So we were in the presentation before we were joined by the honorable members. And I'm not going to continue with that because I think we have an opportunity to network. My QR code will go up. We can talk about the product. But I think what's important for me to share today, right now, that I have the platform, while everybody leaves, can we just make way for them? Okay, so while I have the platform, what I'm going to share with you is really something that's very special, and it was as a result of Saba 2024. So thank you again to the organizers. So what I want to share with you is what Seychelles Broadcasting did. And we're very privileged to have Mr. Berard Dupré in the house. Seychelles Broadcasting made history as the first broadcaster from the islands to deliver a full remote production. It was a bold move. It was one that required courage, trust in technology, and a visionary leadership willing to redefine what is possible. And by embracing cloud and aggregated connectivity, they broke free from the constraints of traditional OB trucks and on-site infrastructure, proving that high-quality live content can indeed be produced from anywhere. They've successfully covered the Indian Ocean Games as well as the Seychelles elections earlier this month. Now, this pioneering effort not only set a new standard for us as island broadcasting and Africa, but it also opened the doors to a future of limitless possibilities. Let's dive into their groundbreaking remote production in action.
Wheels. Stand by two.
The biggest advantage I found with the TVU anyway was that the ability to do our own filming and without using multiple crew, and we also, the quality of the filming was really good and the quality of sound was really good as well. And for me, this is an advantage for SPC, and this is the future for production and also for filming live events.
We're working on a production that's happening a few kilometers away from us. So we're directing it live on a laptop. That's a big change to the way we work. So it's a really good opportunity to learn it. The first person to do it in Seychelles using TVU. So that's a great experience.
The interface is pretty user-friendly, easy to get access with everything you need, easy to control too.
Now you don't need 5-10 people to do a simple job. With one person, with the TVU system, you can actually do the same amount of work that you could be needing more people to do.
When you're going on the field to film a certain event, you're using only a camera, only one person and doing everything. So you don't have a whole group of people going and filming, doing the filming. It's only one person.
Using TVU was a great experience. It made our flow very fast and very flexible. We were able to produce and stream live content from different locations without needing a full outside broadcast setup.
In the future, we look forward to continuing our partnership with TVU, and it's going to really simplify our outside broadcasting. We're going to be more efficient, less cable runs, and at a lower cost, less stuff to deploy on site. And yeah, great job TVU for your product.
Well, there you have it, and I think they deserve a round of applause because certainly they've been the first on the African continent to adopt this technology. And what's special is we're seeing African faces talk about their African stories, and it's really a testimonial of what's possible. So I said I was going to shake my algorithm up a bit, something that was not really planned, but let's improvise as we go, I think I'm going to be very thrilled to invite two exceptional guests onto stage. First, the visionary leader behind the Seychelles Broadcasting groundbreaking remote production, the CEO himself, who had the courage and the foresight to lead his team into this new era of cloud-based broadcasting. Let's give Mr. Behrad Dupree a round of applause, everybody. Thank you if you can join us up on there. And then joining him is Mr. Adrian van Rooij from Switzerland, our very own African Switzerland. Swiss, sorry. Adrian leads up Riedel Communications in Africa, and I had the privilege of collaborating with him on integrating TVU and Riedel, demonstrating seamless interoperability with third-party vendors. Thank you very much for joining me. So, do the gentlemen have microphones? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dheshnie.
So, Mr. Behrad, I think this is truly a testimonial like no other, and to hear from you directly will solidify what I've been singing from last year about TVU, and I want to understand what inspired you to take the bold step of this exciting adventure and executing full remote production for the first time on the islands.
Thank you, Dheshnie. Good morning, everybody, ministers and officials. I have to recognize the role that this forum does. It's through this forum that SBC has been able to get in touch with industry suppliers like yourselves. Ever since I attended Sabah, I have kept attending every year to network and to see the presentations. And one of the first ones that I saw when I was in Namibia was with eMedia to do with the radio app. And ever since, most of the technological developments that SBC have done has been through forums like this. We've launched our radio app, we've launched our OTT service, our DTT, and now cloud-based remote production through what has been a gathering of broadcasters. So for me, it links two things: the need for us to technologically develop to be able to deliver content in a better way, in a more cost-effective way. And I appreciate that, especially through BMA, that Broadcast Media Africa, that brings the industry technology to us, that allows us to do that. So within a year of seeing your presentation, we invited you and to help us with, especially the elections. We don't have a case study here, but being able to have just the journalists with 25 phones in all the 25 districts giving us the reports. For our board, it was unprecedented, and even with the SADC observer missions and the way the SBC conducted itself as an independent but informative broadcaster, that was also recognized. So we're proud of that kind of partnership. Thank you.
So thank you for that, and certainly we're hoping that the many other countries in Africa take a page out of your book on the elections. But we saw in the videos many testimonials from your staff members, and I just want to understand, how did the team adapt to this new workflows, and what were some of the key challenges that you guys faced or overcame?
For me, it was particularly warming when I came into the room. You were giving you and your team were giving the training, and most of the staff were quite vocal and saying, wow, this is going to change things. This is going to be revolutionary. And I told you that I foresaw resistance to change. We used to doing remote with all the physical switches and all the cablings. And they took it like duck to water, like, Carlos and all the others. I haven't seen their testimony until now, which is really comforting.
That was fantastic. But I think, kudos to you on the change management, because you really drove that and changed their mindset on that. So
thank you.
Thank you for that. Eddie, from your perspective, what makes the integration of TVU with Riedel successful, and why is it important for these broadcasters in Africa?
So basically, a vendor of equipment delivers bits and pieces. But what can I do with bits and pieces? It's actually nothing. I need a turnkey solution. So when we vendors talk with each other, understand each other's products, we can also deliver a solution for a broadcasting institution to just come in, get in the studio, get the engineers on the table, and work on a production.
And I think that's important because very often when people have a solution presented to them on new technology, you almost like go into a corner thinking, I've invested so much in my existing infrastructure. Do I now need to throw that away to bring TVU or Riedel into the market? No. So this is just basically us validating that we can integrate with any third-party suppliers. So I just want you to share a little bit of an example of a collaboration that enhanced production capabilities of this sort.
Absolutely. So we discussed with each other, basically just face-to-face, what remote production means. Because there's many ways of understanding what is remote production. Do I have the server on site? Do I have the server in my studio and send backpacks out? And there's many different ways of how we actually can do a production. So we said, hey, to see the integration, how they can work together, let's meet on a common ground, on a neutral ground, which for us was Spain, and do a remote production, a trial for a remote production ourselves. So the technical director of TVU was actually playing rugby in himself alone. It was rainy days, but it was very good to test it out. We had 5 cameras in Barcelona, and me and Mr. Vuyon Kube from South Africa, we were sitting in Madrid and producing the game in Madrid. We used many technologies. We used the internet, we used 4G, we used 5G, we used Starlink, and we turned off one signal after the other to see how stable is the signal in the end. So we did a case study, a blind case study, basically, just to see how can we get a good turnkey solution for remote production for Africa. Why in Spain? Basically, logistics was easier for us, for everybody, and we had all the equipment on site there. The next step, what we want to do, is repeat the whole operation in Africa.
Exactly. So you've seen it in Spain, you've seen it on the islands. Now we throwing it out there. Who's going to be next? Let's take the challenge. I see the lady winding me up. So Mr. Barra, just parting words. How do you see this innovation shaping the future of broadcasting in the Seychelles region and on the African continent? Just wrapping it up.
I think the surprising was the cost. We really dreaded that it was going to be expensive. In fact, it is telling us that we don't need to buy hardware. We've tested it with our very low bandwidth in remote islands or from the main island. It works brilliantly. The synchronization of the audio and the video and the quality is second to none. We're not going back. So I will encourage. I mean, TVU is one, but there are others. I'm not brand specific. But if we want to go into IP-based broadcasting and then into cloud-based, certainly is the future of broadcast. If we can, it's worth trying it out for yourselves and then seeing, proof of concept is the best way for you to be able to validate whether it's good for you, allowing you to deploy very easily anywhere. And for us, which we have different islands, we can now broadcast from anywhere. Just send the cameraman, the technician, and everything is then controlled back into the main studio on the main island. For us, that's excellent. We don't have to pay a lot to stay overnight and do all that is needed. So it suits different broadcasters differently, but for us, this is the way forward.
Great. So you've seen there that the future of broadcasting is being redefined before our eyes. With that, I want to thank you and say Africa has spoken. The demand is here. So at TVU, we're ready to meet it bigger and better. Thank you very much, everybody.